Full-time MMA?
MMA.
Nothing
Yeah.
else?
My life, man, yeah.
Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to subscribe if you're new and hook your boy up with a like if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, because you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Holy flying flipping flap, dude. There's so much to say about this. Cub Swanson has announced that he's gonna become a free agent after his UFC main event fight versus Brian Ortega in Fresno. Wow. I mean, we know where he's going. That's obvious, and it's not the UFC. He's not becoming a free agent to re-sign. No, he's not going to the World Series of Fighting. I don't even think they exist anymore. He's not going to know where he's going. Fucking Bellator. Hey, this is gonna keep happening. So, as crazy as it is right now, when you first hear it and think about it, like, man, he's not going to Bellator. What, Cub Swanson? No, he's going. I'm telling you right now. Might be hard to imagine at first, but it's gonna keep happening. I got news for you. Cub Swanson's not the first, and he's not the last. The UFC, there's so much shit going on right now with the UFC. If they feel like you're not as one of the biggest stars in the game right now, when it comes and you're about to re-sign, if you've got, you can price yourself out pretty easily at this point. A lot of guys are seeing some contracts being thrown around. They're seeing guys who they feel like they're better than get paid more than them. We're seeing a lot of dismay in the UFC's ranks right now. A lot of people are unhappy with the rankings, unhappy with fucking the drug testing itself, but the strictness of it, the fact that they're getting tracked and shit. You got to be tracked by USADA. I mean, some people are mad with who gets the title fights. A guy can come and get 2 crazy knockouts and get a title fight and skip the #1 contender. A guy can come from another division out of nowhere and get a title fight, skip all the contenders. A guy can, win the belt and not defend it for a long. People are upset that trash talk is how you get your fight. I mean, there's just so much there's just so much shit going on with people, why people are upset. But that's not even why Cub Swanson's upset. That's why there's so much to talk about here, because that's all the shit going on right now, why there's going to be more people going to the UFC. I mean, there's reasons on reasons on reasons. Bellator is handing out the money that the UFC is not giving out right now, because the UFC was just purchased for what, $4 billion? I mean, God, it's been a while since the sale, but not cut their losses, but what they're trying to do is cut their spending. They can't pay everybody $1 million. So if you're a guy that's not going to go out there and really I mean, even if you are a guy like Kevin Lee's doing everything right at this point, selling his fights, talking trash, and he's still not getting paid those millions yet. Now, if he keeps doing what he's doing and he wins this fight tomorrow versus Tony Ferguson and keeps doing what he's doing, oh, he's well on the way to those big paydays. But somebody like Cub Swanson, the UFC might feel like, okay, he's not really, he doesn't really trash talk as well. It's not about how good you trash talk. It's about selling fights. I mean, people hate to hear about your followers and shit, but it's about your fan base. Now, the thing is, people like Rory McDonald and Cub Swanson, you think, no, they've got fans, and you're fucking right. I'm a huge fan of both of these guys. I'm not the one saying UFC let these guys go. It pisses me off Cub Swanson and Rory McDonald and fucking Gegard Mousasi are not in the UFC. That pisses me off. But I just see what's happening, and I know it's not gonna fucking stop. Eventually, Bellator's gonna be so stacked, we're gonna have a dope-ass co-promote, but it's gonna, literally, I don't understand what's going on, because the UFC is, losing power. They're losing, it's kind of hard to wrap my head around, because not too long ago, the UFC was the top dog. There was no #2. Even Bellator was a fucking laughing stock. But now, I mean, it hasn't happened yet. And okay, now let's get into this Cub Swanson specifically. Let's get into Cub Swanson, because Cub Swanson's upset that he didn't get the title shot. Cub Swanson and Frankie Edgar were the 2 options for who was going to be Max Holloway's first title defense. Well, Frankie Edgar got the nod. Frankie Edgar had a history with a Hawaiian champion in BJ Penn. He said the right words. Hey, I'm looking forward to destroying another Hawaiian champion. On top of that, Frankie Edgar is a fresh matchup for Max Holloway. Max Holloway's already beat Cub Swanson. On top of that, Frankie Edgar's been fighting contenders while Cub Swanson's been fighting Doo-Ho Choi, Artem Lobov. You know, I mean, Brian Ortega is really his first top 10 guy he's fought. You know, even though he fought Artem Lobov and Doo-Ho Choi, he was still close to a title shot because they were very entertaining fights and they were pretty lopsided in his way. He cut both of those guys really out of the title pick. I mean, Doo-Ho Choi was a guy that, you know, he had a lot of promise going into that fight. It's like Cub Swanson, like, I don't want to say he killed the hype or whatever, but I mean, he fucking definitely set him down for a little while. I don't even think Doo-Ho Choi has fought again since then. Wasn't he scheduled to fight on the same card as Korean Zombie? Yeah, he was scheduled to fight, but he still hasn't fought since then, to my knowledge. And then Artem Lobov, you know, that's Conor McGregor's teammate. You know, he was doing some things. Artem Lobov beat Teruto Ishihara, I think, and then he fought Cub Swanson in a main event fight, and Cub Swanson got the job done. And it was impressive, but, I mean, it wasn't like, you know, he was beating the #1 contender. So it's not like he was guaranteed the title shot, and that's one of his gripes here. He says the UFC keeps telling me they can't promise me anything, and I'm like, bullshit. You know you can, and honestly, they fucking can't, dog. No, they can't. I mean, if you want to use that, you know, to get out of, I mean, and it's not even to get out of his contract, because his contract was expiring after this fight, so he had the choice to re-sign or to, you know, become a free agent. And he did say that he believes if he would have re-signed for the number that they wanted to give him, then he might have got to fight, you know, like Jose Aldo or Ricardo Lamas. But since he's going to become a free agent, they gave him Brian Ortega, you know, a young up-and-coming guy. This is Brian Ortega's kind of first real test. For, you know, he's an up-and-coming guy. He's got some momentum behind him. He beats Cub Swanson. He kind of takes Cub Swanson's spot, and Cub Swanson goes to Bellator or whatever. The UFC's like, all right, take this dude. We're not going to really try and build you up. We're not going to let you, like, beat Jose Aldo or potentially beat Jose Aldo or potentially beat Ricardo Lamas and then take that win to Bellator. Fuck no. If you win, you beat Brian Ortega, and he's still up-and-coming, you know, he can shake it off. Like whenever Yair Rodriguez lost to Frankie, you know, shake it off and come back. People ain't gonna really hold it against you. You just get better. You're a young up and coming dude. So he said he thinks that's why he got put against Brian Ortega. But either way, you got to go in there and get the job done, because they say, I mean, this is Brian Ortega's first real test. They say so. This is not Cub Swanson's first real test. But I mean, when you talk about as far as title contention, his first top 10 guy for sure. I mean, in his last 2 fights, Artem Lobov and Doo-Ho Choi, they were entertaining fights, but it's not too hard to really see why Frankie Edgar got the title shot. On top of beating higher level opponents, he's, you know, he's got a history with a Hawaiian champion, BJ Penn, a legend of the game. It's a fresh matchup for Max Holloway, and Frankie Edgar might not get another title shot after this. Swanson, I mean, you gotta win one more fight. I mean, I understand Cub Swanson's gripe or whatever, but at the same time, let's read what he had to say, because I definitely don't agree with the fact that he said, you know, the UFC should be promising him a title shot. He thinks he should be promised a title shot with a victory over, like, okay, since Frankie Edgar beat me out this time, well then make sure I get the next title shot. And that's just not how it works, because somebody could come through with a fucking knockout of the year, fucking head of the year, some crazy shit could happen, and that person might need a title shot, or there's so much shit that goes on in the fucking crazy world of the UFC, so there's no way Cub Swanson can get guaranteed a title shot. But this is what he had to say. He started off saying, it's a power move. Of course I want to get paid more. The thing people don't understand is that I've got to a point to where I'm making good money and it's enough to live on, but it's not retirement money, not even close. I've been doing this for 13 years and in the prime of my career, but at some point it's going to dip off, and I'd like to walk away before I start having really bad performances with enough money in my account to make smart investments and do the right things. I just want that opportunity. Max Holloway is fighting Frankie Edgar. Max Holloway is fighting Frankie Edgar in the 20th title fight since I've been in the division. I've been in the top tier of my guys my entire career. It's a little frustrating seeing somebody like Frankie who is great, get title fights. I just don't understand it. I wanted some leverage for that in my contract. I'm next. They're always saying we can't guarantee anything, and it's like, come on, yes you can. So he's just frustrated. You can fucking really hear it in that text. You know, he's saying, come on, you know you can fucking guarantee me something. And I mean, the truth just is, no, he can't. So with that being said, Bam, I look forward to seeing Cub Swanson in Bellator. I mean, Bellator, you know that they're gonna fucking welcome him with open arms. Bellator's doing big things. Just watched Bellator 184 tonight. I actually got to watch it at work, but I was at work, so I couldn't report on it. This is gonna be my only video as of right now. It's fucking 3 in the morning. I'm gonna go to bed, but UFC 216 is tomorrow, and I'm definitely planning on getting some news out before then. I mean, Daniel Cormier, you know what I was thinking about doing, since whenever I work a lot, I really can't get out like fucking 7-8 videos a day, or, you know, just pump them out every fucking day after work. Sometimes I'm tired or whatever, I gotta do something with my girl. But I was thinking about doing like just like a 1 hour like fucking podcast. There's so much shit that happened this week. I just really don't got time to really talk about, so I'm just probably gonna skip it for now. I mean, I would like to do something on it, but I'll just, maybe if I have time Sunday, or if I have a day off next week, I'll do it. Like that Daniel Cormier and Rumble Johnson shit, I haven't really been able to talk about that, but that'd be like 4 separate videos in itself. So I'm like, fuck. And there's just a lot of other shit going on top of a lot of fights going on. So I'm just gonna, you know, if I did like a 1 hour like podcast type thing, you know, I could just talk about all of that shit. So I might do that, you know, like during the week, just drop like the big news like this. To me, this is big. I know some people, the Cub Swanson videos, I mean, of course, you know, only hardcore fans really tune in, and that's the thing, that's probably a reason that the UFC is feeling this way. Because, I mean, whenever I make whenever I announced, whenever I reported that Cub Swanson was going to be fighting Brian Ortega, man, I'm telling you, it's one of the least viewed videos out there. Maybe it's because who he's fighting or what. But I mean, if it was, I don't know, you get the point. So it is what it is. If you're not very marketable, if you don't have people showing their vocal support, if the UFC doesn't feel like, if you price yourself out, if you feel like you're worth more than the UFC does, I guess they're willing to let you go to Bellator. Because the UFC knows Bellator will pick them up. The UFC knows, hey, we're not going to pay Cub this. He's probably going to Bellator. And one last thing, man, before I fucking get out of here, because I'm going to go to bed, wake up. I want to get a bunch of shit out before the fights, and then definitely get everything out for the fights. Then we're going to do a live stream. I'll probably do a long-ass live stream so we can talk about everything. Let me know after this video if I should, make sure you do this too, because I don't fucking know when. Let me know after this video if I should do the live stream after the fights, like the night of the fights afterwards, or if I should do it the Sunday after the fights. So Saturday night or Sunday sometime in the day. With that being said, look forward to seeing Cub Swanson in Bellator. And last thing, he's not the last one. Cub Swanson, it's gonna be crazy to think about him in Bellator, bro, but it's coming, and he's not the last one. I can promise you that. It is what it is. Let the haters know what the fuck you tell me in the comments. I'm out.
Bye, Felicia.